So yesterday we flew 3 flights. Today I'm just going to focus on the last two because they covered more ground. The first flight was just to have a small file that's easy to work with, but because I didn't end up processing it in the field due to complications, we don't really need that first small file, so we're just going to look at the last two. So the last two files, we're calling this one the L because it kind of has an L shape. And then this one is full field. And so here you can see this is a lot larger than this. So that's because when I was uploading files to Google Drive and downloading it again, Google Drive is really bad about it doesn't include all of the data when you download a file because if it's too big, or if it's like, oh, I can't scan for viruses for some reason, it doesn't download. So in any case, it took about 10 minutes to process this larger one, maybe 15, and the other one took about 5 minutes to process. And so some interesting things to note is that it shows us the reflectivity. Reflectivity is very nice to know about because it'll tell us how what kind of sensors we can use with what kind of surfaces. So here this is like cut grass. It has very high reflectivity, 67%. So if, for instance, the Lidar was flying very high at 200 meters altitude, it could probably still see this because the AVIA sensor is rated to see at 190 meters at 10% reflectivity. So even if this sensor was flying twice as high, it would still be able to see stuff that's in the blue region, like the grayish region. Different sensors have different amounts of sensitivities that they can pick up on, different reflectivities that they'll be able to see. But yeah, it's pretty clear to see that the tops of the corn is a little bit easier to pick up on, and then the corn down in the bottom is a little bit harder to pick on. It's like a darker shade of blue, stuff like that. And then here we have like a forested area. The bottom, as expected, is kind of bluish. It's a little bit harder for the drone to pick up on, but still, even though this is flying at 80 meters altitude at the top speed of 15 meters per second, still pretty good. I could work with this data to figure out where the ground level is. Hopefully, as I'm rotating it, you can kind of see where the lowest points of the point cloud are. Here as well, you can see kind of like forested area, right? Forested area. By the way, here's also the return. This tells you the first pulse is the top usually, and then as it penetrates further, you have the last pulse returns. And yeah, you can really see some really good stuff. I can work with this, right, to find out where, connect the dots between here, and that's where the ground is basically. Yeah, I just want to keep this video short. I could talk about this for a long time, and I have, so in a different video that I'm not going to post because it's just too long. So yeah, this is Rebel's car here. Let's look at it under a higher point cloud density. Rebel's dad's car here. You can even make us out. We're kind of standing right there. So yeah, that's about it. So if you have any questions, we can talk about it during the meeting.